All right. Tech for Seniors, episode 57, season 2. It is April the 26th, 2021. I want to welcome everyone here today. Thank you so much for coming. It looks like it's a full house, which is great. And we also have our streaming service over on YouTube. Thank you for everyone for coming. For those of you who are over on our streaming services on YouTube, the show will go on for about 50 minutes. And then just prior to our music segment, we'll be stopping the show. For those of you who are new today and who are with us, this show goes on for about an hour, and then we have a 20-minute question and answer period afterwards. The show is taped, and this afternoon should be on our YouTube feed. And if I had a question this morning. Someone on Facebook said, "How do I get the link for the show today?" If you haven't already, please go over to www.techforsenior.com. Sign up for a newsletter because all the information is there. Just click the link, and bingo, you will be in. So be sure and do that. That would be, and then you'll be able to get into the show. We had a fun week last week. We did our Tech for Senior Live on Thursday. Bob, Hewie, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So we'll be doing it again this coming Thursday. Again, it's on our streaming service. I can now say, we talked earlier in the show about we are now an international show and intercontinental show because we have people from Germany watching, Canada, and the United States, which is sort of cool. So that's great, and maybe we'll have more countries involved pretty soon. That's really cool. So anyway, I'd like to introduce our staff today. Where's Hewie? Hewie, are you around? There you are.
Right here. I'm here.
Yeah, there you are. Hey, did you hear this morning that Starlink's going to lower the satellites? They want to lower them closer to the Earth. Are we going to have to duck down?
You're going to have to duck, yeah.
Huh. And also I heard that Huawei is going to put satellites up for their 5G, for their 6G, yeah. For their 6G service. They're going to be putting satellites up there. Are we not going to have a lot of space junk?
Yeah, and OneWeb already put 36, I think, up a week or two ago, and they're going to do another 36 later this week. And they're sending them up with a Soyuz rocket, of course, because they're not going to use Elon Musk's SpaceX rockets, and there's nobody else to send them, so they're hiring the Russians to do it.
Yeah,
and so they're on their way. They originally had some satellites before Starlink, but they went bust, and then a couple of companies bought into them, and so they've been revived. And so they're going to have about 600 satellites out there. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of them out there. And then of course Amazon, Jeff Bezos is also has a system that he's going to put up there.
Yeah, wow. And then Bob, you got back from Texas, and Bob sent me this weird email yesterday. He said he's now a vlogger, and I thought he might have a disease and he was going to die. So Bob, what's with this vlogging thing? Or what's
is someone who has a regular video show.
Oh, good.
In Tech for Seniors, because I do an episode within it, which is recorded and is available on YouTube. It's called a vlog, VLOG, instead of a blog. Of course, I also have one of those suckers, but
isn't Tech for Senior a vlog?
I thought you had a disease or something.
Hopefully, no.
And then Dewey, you're home moving all that. Joanne, you got to sort of keep this guy under control. He's moving all that dirt and stuff. You're too old to do that. Hire somebody.
Don't say that to them.
No. Man, you're doing
well. You're only as old as you feel.
Life begins at 80. Remember that.
And then Ray, so you know what happened yesterday, Ray? I watched the Academy Awards, And I was so disappointed because I always liked the music for all the shows on the Academy Award. They didn't play it. They didn't have big orchestras playing all the music. Did you watch it yesterday?
No, actually, I missed it. I'm not a big Academy Award fan, to be honest, but I do know that they decided to hold it at Union Station, the railroad station in Los Angeles, rather than the theater they normally hold it in. But no, I missed it yesterday.
Yeah, that was sort of weird.
I
All
went
right.
to the movies last year.
So listen, what I wanted to do, I'm just going to share my screen, and I wanted to play something for you. I wanted to play something for you from episode 5, 1 year ago. 1 year ago, in episode 1, this is episode 5. I want to just play you a short little clip of what we talked about. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen. Is the program I just released, and it's available on YouTube now. And I thought I would give you a run through of this. And this is called a photo album to Google Photos in 13 minutes. Now, there's been many videos made on how to digitize photo albums into your Google Photos, but no one has done it with the twist of how fast can you do it. And I have the world's record of, I did 150.
To talk about a little bit about a website that I discovered. You can get to it by just typing in colorize it.com, colorizeit.com. And what you do is you can upload.
So those were the two shows, two comments we did. Hewie talked about Colorize, and I talked about that video that I did. And of course, I thought it was appropriate because, of course, as of June the 1st, there's some big changes in Google Photos coming, which I think you all know. Now, we have some very famous people here with us today. Chris and Jim Gould, I see you're in the audience. Welcome. They, of course, have that very, very popular website, Geeks on Tour, and Chris is a product expert for Google Photos. And I just want to announce that on May the 17th, Chris will be doing a 20-minute part of our segment of our show on the changes for Google Photos that are coming up. Now, she also is going to be on the big show this Wednesday, Dottotech, as a guest speaker. So we wish her well for that, and we're looking at with anticipation that she's going to be on our show on the 17th, and we'll talk about the changes. But for those of you who have all your albums sitting in your closet, you should try and get all those pictures online now before June, so you can because otherwise it's going to start costing you money. Now, I remade that video, which was just being reposted as well on our channel, took all the ums and ahs and that sort of thing out. And so I remade the video so you can watch it, but you might want to look at that if you want to get all your pictures up into the cloud. And if you are, and so you can either watch Steve Dotto this Wednesday, or of course Chris will be on our show on May the 17th. All right, I think, Bob, are you up and ready?
If you're ready. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 23rd, 2021. TikTok sued over data collection of children. Former Children's Commissioner of England Anne Longfield is suing TikTok on behalf of millions of children in the UK over data collection that Longfield maintains is without sufficient warning and transparency. According to the BBC News, the claim covers all children who have used the popular video sharing app since May 2018. Children wishing not to be represented can opt out, but if Longfield is successful, each child affected could be owed thousands of pounds. The data collected in question includes phone numbers, videos, exact location, and biometric information of each child. TikTok, owned by Chinese company ByteDance, issued a statement saying, "We believe the claim lacks merit and intend to vigorously defend the action. Avast security evangelist Louis Carones commented that while data protection should be a priority for digital platforms, part of the responsibility also falls on the user. It is important to protect kids, he said, even more so where they share content online. That being said, we all know how useful warnings are. Just look at everyone's reactions to the warnings about cookies upon visiting a website. We parents are our kids' best protectors and guardians, and it is on us to teach them to give them the right advice about online safety. Facebook announces multiple new audio features. This week, Facebook announced a host of new audio features intended to make audio presence easy, natural, and immersive so you can more fully experience social presence. First and foremost in the effort is a new set of audio tools for users, what the announcement calls a sound studio in your pocket. Sound effects, music, voice morphing, noise reduction filters, and more. These tools will allow content creators to make sound bites, edited short form audio clips that can convey jokes, anecdotes, inspiration, etc. The social platform will also begin accommodating podcast streaming. In addition, the site and Messenger app are testing live audio rooms, a Facebook audio hangout in the style of the trendy social app Clubhouse. Spies use LinkedIn to fool UK nationals. UK intelligence group MI5 warned the nation that over 10,000 professionals in the fields of government and key industry have been approached by spies hiding behind fake profiles on LinkedIn. Users who accept the connections are then baited into sharing national secrets, according to MI5. The Center for the Protection of National Infrastructure launched a campaign called Think Before You Link to alert government officials of that threat. BBC News reported that one concern is that once a victim accepts one of the malicious connections, that in turn would encourage the victim's contacts to accept the request as well, since it would appear they share a mutual acquaintance. Code Cove's supply chain attack targets hundreds of networks. San Francisco-based online software testing platform Code suffered a supply chain attack that went undetected for more than 2 months. And while initial reports were that only Code Cove systems were affected, Reuters reported that the impact spread to hundreds of the company's customers. Code has over 29,000 clients, including GoDaddy, The Washington Post, Procter & Gamble, and IBM. It is unclear who is behind the breach, but experts believe Cove's customers were targeted through this attack. The FBI San Francisco office is investigating. New hacker tools reveal Facebook users' email addresses. After Facebook dismissed the vulnerability, a researcher found, saying it was not important enough to address, the researcher went public with a demonstration of the weakness through a hacking tool called Facebook Email Search version 1.0. The researchers said the tool could link 5 million Facebook accounts to their associated email addresses in one day. Facebook then released a statement saying, "It appears that we erroneously closed out the bug bounty report before routing to the appropriate team. We appreciate the researchers sharing the information and are taking initial actions to mitigate the issue, while we follow up to better understand their findings." Read more on Ars Technica. Here's what your Amazon Echo knows about you. First things first, Amazon Echo says it's not recording and storing all of your conversation. It's designed to respond to its wake word, which is usually Miss A, but you can change it to whatever you want. Once alerted to its wake word being spoken, it starts recording from that point, but also includes about 3 seconds before the word was spoken. The only time it is supposed to record and send data back to Amazon cloud is when that trigger word is spoken. For US customers, the Amazon Echo knows all information related to your use of Miss A and Miss A's enabled products, including your voice and other inputs. Response provided to you through Miss A, information they receive in conjunction with third-party services and auxiliary products you use. The information and content you provide or receive through the Miss A app. In the UK, they know your voice and they may back up certain info to the cloud, including account settings, notes, email, and wireless configurations, bookmarks, search history, communications, and call history. And for the rest of Europe, Amazon has country-by-country rules. The Amazon privacy policy states that they're not in the business of selling customer personal information, but it also says that their services might include third-party advertising and links to other websites and apps, and that third-party advertising partners may collect information about you when you interact with their content. Advertising and services, Amazon also gives users the option to review and delete recordings one by one or by date range. There's also an option to set it up to verbally ask Miss A to delete your recordings. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was great. I see the bad guys are still proliferating.
I wish somebody'd figure out how to stop them.
All right, so now we have oh my Dewey. Let's have a look and see what Dewey has to say today. We will let's start here.
Good morning, friends. This is Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is Tech Talk News Odds and Ends. ReviewGeek.com writer Andrew Heinzman reports that nearly 4 years after Apple launched its first Apple 4K TV streaming device, the company is putting out a new Apple TV 4K with HDR video and an upgraded metal-clad Siri remote. While the 2021 Apple TV 4K retains many of its predecessors' features, including Dolby Atmos sound, it offers clear improvements in video quality and processing speed with its new A12 Bionic processor. The new streaming box replaces the 2017 Apple TV 4K and starts at $179 for the 32 gigabyte model and $199 for 64 gigabytes. The new Siri remote works with earlier models and may be bought separately for $59. You may recall that I spoke about LiDAR 3 weeks ago. LiDAR, if you recall, is the acronym for Light Detection and Ranging. It's an active remote sensing system that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser to measure distances. The new robotic vacuum cleaner from Wise uses LiDAR to pre-map and program the precise areas of carpet to be vacuumed in a home before it's ever used the first time. According to Scott Stein at CNET, Apple is going bullish on LiDAR, a technology that's brand new to the iPhone 12 family, and specifically to the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max. And rumor has it that LiDAR will also appear on all 4 models of Apple's upcoming iPhone 13 lineup. Apple's LiDAR promises better low-light focus and is up to 6 times faster in low-light conditions. LiDAR depth sensing is also used to improve night portrait mode effects. The backside of iPhones with LiDAR will look like this. The small black circle underneath the 3 lenses is the LiDAR sensor. Last Tuesday, 9 to 5 Mac writer Michael Poplock reported that Verizon's super-fast ultra-wideband 5G coverage is coming to 4 more cities in the US. They are New Orleans, San Antonio, Fresno, and Riverside, California. Brings the total to 71. Verizon's ultra-wideband 5G is the high-band millimeter wave technology that brings blazingly fast internet speeds to densely populated, mainly city center areas, albeit at short signal ranges of a mile or less. Richard Lawler at MSN.com reported that Comcast notched a cable modem breakthrough by running a test that hit 1.25 gigabits per second up and downstream on their live network. It also tested a Broadcom device designed for the DOCSIS 4.0 full duplex, means upstream and downstream standard. Comcast's full duplex setup relies on a hybrid fiber cable strategy to deliver ultra-fast speeds. By enabling full duplex DOCSIS, the upstream and downstream traffic can flow at up to 10 gigabits per second concurrently. Wow, that's fast. While fiber networks have already established bidirectional gigabit speeds, until now, most cable connections are extremely limited in upload capacity, even in places where gigabit download speeds are possible. DOCSIS 4.0 represents what cable companies expect from the new standard that was released by Cable Labs in 2020. Implementation, this is what's important. Implementation of this new standard and DOCSIS 4.0 modems will likely appear in late 2022 or in 2023. So it's a ways off. Eli Blumenthal at CNET.com wrote last week that Verizon's 5G home broadband internet is coming to 3 new cities, San Antonio, Memphis, and Riverside, California. Now, Verizon's mobile millimeter wave network provides the backbone, that's a familiar word in these subjects, for their 5G home internet service. Prices for 5G home run $50 a month for most Verizon customers, or for $70 for those who aren't. There are no annual contracts or data caps for 5G, and monthly prices for 5G home, and monthly prices include equipment fees and taxes. Got an extra word or two in there, I guess. In a bid to get people to switch from their current internet provider to 5G home, Verizon will begin offering a $500 credit on April 29th to cover early termination fees for those stuck in a cable, internet, or other contract. You know, they're really aggressive. Wireless companies are increasingly competing with cable and satellite in the home internet market. Example, Verizon is also giving new customers a free Samsung Chromebook 4, a free Stream TV, that's Verizon Android's TV-powered streaming device, and a 1-year subscription to Discovery Plus. Wow. Cellular providers are betting they can get millions of people to ditch home internet providers such as Comcast Corporation and Charter Communications over the next few years. Depending on where you live, there are 2 different ways to get home internet. One is the expensive process of running miles of fiber optic cables in underground trenches or on telephone poles. The other is less expensive, fixed base wireless. You've heard about that before. Beaming signals over a carrier's airwaves to a home antenna that connects to a homeowner's modem. Last fall, I spoke about a website called Print Friendly in PDF that easily converted informational articles on the internet to printer-friendly documents or PDFs by stripping out the ads and sidebars and lots of other junk. TFSer Byron Nate first told me about it a half dozen years ago, and also suggested it's way easier to use as a browser extension. So I added the Print Friendly and PDF extension to both my Firefox and Chrome browsers and just use it often. Byron Nate sent me an email a few days ago telling me that Firefox has decided to block, in effect disable, the Print Friendly and PDF extension from now on. Here's the notice Byron received from Firefox regarding their blocking of this browser extension. In small print is kind of small. It says Print Friendly and PDF is blocked for your protection. Yeah. Why was it blocked? The add-on violates Mozilla's add-on policies. Well, I'm glad they finally thought of it now. Going on, Finally, I was cleaning out the glove compartment in my car the other day and came across this old familiar metal box with Penguin caffeinated peppermints that still tasted good despite being more than 21 years old. Obviously, I don't open the box very often. It came from the November 1999 Comdex show in Las Vegas, which featured introduction of the new, then at least, Linux operating system with its Penguin logo. This box of Penguin mints was in the goodie bag that attendees received. Speakers at the 99 this is kind of for your information. Speakers at the 99 Comdex included Linus Torvalds, who was the originator of the Linux operating system, Microsoft's Bill Gates, George Lucas, you know, the guy who achieved the concept of Star Wars, and he was there for Sony's PlayStation 2. Also there was Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina and Michael Dell, founder of the Dell Computers. Well, back to when I opened the Penguin box several days ago, I was just surprised to find a cute little box of Avast mints as well inside the Penguin box. I had forgotten that years ago when TFS staffer Bob Costisha spoke on security at our club at Silver Ridge Resort in Mesa. And I had picked up a box of Avast mints from his display. And there it was inside the Penguin box of peppermints. I had no idea because I hadn't opened the box for years. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. And I'm not only sticking with it, I think I'm stuck with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Oh, that was good. Bob,
That's funny.
Just to interject, I still have those peppermints, quite a few of them. We just need to get together again.
Yeah. Bob, did I cut you off? Sorry. I think you had a little clip you were going to play.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
In this little privacy and security tutorial, we're going to set up two-factor authentication in Facebook. One more way to protect your Facebook account from winding up in the hands of a cyber crook. Again, start by going to your Facebook page. Once you get here, go to the account, click on it. Once this opens, go to Settings and Privacy. Click on Settings. Once you get to this page, go to Security and Login. Select it. Next, on the right-hand side, it says Two-Factor Authentication. It means once this is set up, if you are signing in on an unrecognized device, you'll be asked to supply a code that is sent to you. Let's set it up by selecting that option. Once you get to this page, you have several choices. You can use an authentication app, you can use a text message sent to your phone, or a security key. In my case, I'll be setting it up with a text message to my phone. And if that's the method you decide to use, click on Use Text Message. Once this opens, you can either use the phone number that it already has on file, or you can add a new phone number. The decision is entirely up to you. Once that's done, hit Continue. I've just received a message on my phone. Remember that authentication code will change each time you get a new request for verification. It also pays to put in the right digits. Hit the Continue button. Two-factor authentication is now on. And if I sign in from an unknown device, it will send out a notification. And until I enter that authentication code, no access to my Facebook account. One more way to make sure you are accessing your Facebook account. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps.
Thanks, Bob. That's great. We're going to move on now to, I'm going to go and share my screen again. And this is the third part of our virtual reality talk that I have for you today. And we'll share this.
It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Virtual Reality for Seniors, Part 3. The Experience. Now you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like And we'd sure appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It really helps people who want to see these videos in the future. Thanks so much. Let's get on with the show. Now follow me as we go for a ride on my bike through the town of Comox, British Columbia. Let's start at my house and we're going to go for a little tour. Now you're going to have a lot of fun with virtual reality. Oh wow, there's the wow factor. For only $299, you are going to have so much fun. As seniors, we often have bad news, either with personal health with ourselves or with other people. So we need to laugh, we need to get out, we need to have some fun. And virtual reality certainly will give you the fun that you're going to have. Now, whether you want to take dance lessons, whether you want to go for a walk in Paris, or whether you want to visit a museum or cycle through Holland, it's all possible in virtual reality. Now, you're going to be able to communicate with friends. One of the great things about virtual reality is the ability to communicate from one person to the other in different locations. In virtual reality, where you actually think you're talking to someone and they're right there in the same room. It is so cool. You can enjoy lots of games. You can play table tennis. Maybe you want to play table tennis with another group. You have a group every Thursday that you play table tennis through. Again, all happens in virtual reality. So you're going to enjoy the games, you're going to socialize, and the other thing you're going to do is we're going to get you moving. As seniors, we have to keep moving. Remember the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to shake it up and we're going to show you how to do some moves today. So let's continue on with our little cycle through the town of Comox, British Columbia. Well, now you have your new Oculus. We need to do a setup. You've got it out of the box. Well, you're going to need to set it up. It's pretty darn easy, and you can use your cell phone or a PC. In fact, as I said before, it is a standalone computer, so you don't need a PC to use it. So I did it with my cell phone. It's real easy to do. Let me go out. Let me show you how that's done. Now, also in the setup process, you'll be able to communicate with other people. So if you have other friends that have Oculus devices, then you can communicate through that. So we'll set that up now. Let me show you how it's done. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is to go to your Facebook account. Ooh, you don't have a Facebook account. Remember, Facebook owns Oculus. Now, if you use Microsoft products, you have a Microsoft account. If you use Google products, you have an Android phone, you use a Google account. And if you have any Apple devices, you have an Apple account. So it only makes sense that if you have an Oculus device, you're going to have a Facebook account. Because with the Facebook account, you're going to need to register the device. You're going to get all the software updates for your Oculus device. You'll be able to purchase apps within the Oculus store. And when you connect for multiplayers, again, this all happens through the Oculus software and the connections through the Oculus website. And again, this is why you need a Facebook account. Now, you don't have to put any information in your profile online or anything like that. Just check your privacy settings and make sure you're secure if you're not a regular Facebook user, and you'll be just fine. All right, where to start? Well, you'll have pre-installed on your Oculus Quest some basic applications that you can use to have fun with, but you can also go to the Oculus store and download many more applications, games, whatever you want onto your Oculus Quest. You can do this from your phone. You can do it from your PC, or you can do it actually right within the Oculus Quest device. So there are many ways in which you can get more programs, apps onto your device to have lots of fun. Now, the next thing you have to decide is really, what do you want to do with the Oculus Quest, right? You have it and you're wondering, oh, wow, this is cool. Well, it can actually be used as a desktop browser. Yes, there's a browser. You can actually browse the internet. You can check your email. And it even links to YouTube, which opens up a huge possibility. Yes, all your YouTube videos can be seen in virtual reality. In fact, you can even watch Hewie and I and Bob and the whole gang of Tech for Senior in virtual reality. That's a cool thought, eh? Now, you can also link your television in, and you can watch TV in virtual reality. Or you can use it to communicate with other people. So you and I could be having this conversation now in virtual reality as well. Or, which I decided to do, is to use it for exercise. Remember, if you don't use it, you lose it. So the focus today on this video is going to be how I used it in exercise. Now we're going to show you, this is a bike. This is actually my daughter's bike. I borrowed it from her. And this is sitting in our exercise room, and you'll see it sits in front of a television. My goal was to have this mounted and to use it with my virtual reality headset on and to do some cycling. You'll see that it's an outdoor bike, but of course it's mounted on a stand. I should tell you that when you put a bike on a stand, it actually gets quite tall. So I need a little footstool there to help me get on and off. And the goal was that I was going to sit on this bike, put my virtual headset on, and cycle around the world and have some really cool fun with it. Now, this is the stand. The stand, the only equipment that I really needed was a stand to mount the back tire on. And this cost around $100, and it just clips onto the rear axle and is really not a problem to install at all. Very simple. Now, one thing that I want you to purchase if you are planning to do this is this little device made by Magene, M-A-G-E-N-E. And this is a little device, then you'll see it clips on the pedal there. And this is a Bluetooth connection that connects to the headset, the Oculus headset. And this allows the device to accurately decide how fast you're going. It converts your pedal rotations to speed. So the faster that you pedal, the faster you're going to go virtually, right? But without this, you can't do that. The pedaling wouldn't really count. So this is a way in which your pedaling links into virtual reality. These are very common. You can, this is $20 for one of these devices, and it just clips on the pedal. Now, I didn't find, after a while using the bike, I found a little uncomfortable. As you get older, sitting on a bicycle seat isn't great. And the other thing that happens is that, particularly for my wife who has some arthritis, she couldn't get on the bike. So the other thing that you can do is get a recumbent bike. This is the one I bought. This is about $300, and it's a recumbent bike, and it works great. It's comfortable. You can sit there, and you can do all the cycling with a recumbent bike. Now, learning the equipment. Now, learning the equipment is fun and it's easy. It's a whole new world that you're going to be entering, and it's foreign to you. You've never done this before. It is totally immersive. You're going to be completely in a different world and oblivious to the outside world. You'll also need to move and activate menus. You'll be setting a floor level, and also you set peripheral boundaries around where you can move, so to keep you safe, because safety is a big concern. Now, I want to talk a little bit about a common problem in virtual reality, particularly for beginners, and that is nausea. So I'm going to give you some advice. The first thing is take it slow. Start with a seated or sedentary experience and try not to do too much in the way of motion to begin with. It takes your brain a little bit of time to get used to the new experience that you're going to have. The second thing is don't push through virtual reality sickness. Stop what you're doing, assess the situation, go away, maybe try a different application. Now, if you are having problems and you're in a game and you're sort of moving along in a sliding sensation, the best thing I find is if you actually start to move your arms and legs. This triggers your brain and says, oh, this is a correct thing to be doing. We're actually moving. And that sometimes helps. The other thing is the bracelets that you can wear around your wrist. Have that little ball that pushes in on the front part of your wrist. This is a P6 acupoint pressure, and we often use these for people in airplanes or in ships for air sickness or ocean sickness, and these work quite well as well in virtual reality. Also, spearmint is helpful. So chewing some Wrigley spearmint gum or sometimes some mint candies can be helpful. And the other thing, which is an interesting one, is a fan. Get a fan and point it towards you from the front of the room and have the air blowing towards you. This does two things. First of all, it does help with the nausea, but it also you get a sense of direction and always sort of can point yourself back in the right direction. It's quite helpful, actually. Now, I wanted to tell you about a website and a software program that I strongly recommend, and it's called VZ Fit. There's two options for this. One is free, and you can sign up for free, and there's a paid version. This is a cycling app, a fitness app that really works well for you. The free version, you get one ride or one route per month, whereas if you have the paid version, which is $10 a month, then you get unlimited. You can cycle all over the world. They have groups you can go cycling with. You can get coaches. There's all sorts of things that you can do with this application. And it's an application or a game that you would download onto your Oculus Quest. Now, why is this so important? Well, first of all, you can set it so you're a novice or a beginner. And the first thing when you're trying to ride a bicycle, like I have with my stationary bike, is of course the bike doesn't move, but you are going to be moving in the game. So what they do is they work it so that usually the routes they choose are straight routes, so you don't have to turn. And also they've developed it so that if you tilt your head to the left, then you can turn and bank to the left. If you tilt your head to the right, you turn and bank to the right. Also, it uses Google Maps, the road view, for their travels through the different areas. So if you come across a car, the car sort of just flattens out and you go right over top of it. It's a bit weird, but you'll get used to it and you don't have to turn. And so it makes it much easier, particularly when you're getting used to this. So if you're planning on using your Oculus Quest for a fitness and riding a bike like I tried, then for sure you really want to use this app. It's called VZ Fit, and I'll put the link in the just below on the screen. So give this a try. So just remember, when we're seniors exercising, the most important is your safety. You are going to be totally immersed in a different world, so we want to make sure you don't hurt yourself. So learn the equipment and start slowly. The other thing I'd like you to do is set some realistic goals. The most important thing is to have fun. And remember, if you've had some health issues, maybe you've had a small stroke or something, you have maybe some eye-hand coordination problems, then there's all sorts of applications in virtual reality that can help you improve your eye-hand coordination. Virtual Reality for Seniors, Part 3, The Experience. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. Bye now.
Windows 10 tips and tricks that I presented to a help group recently online. I'm Hewie Poplock. Notice I have my browser.
Mhm.
If you go to the corner, you see that double arrow,
Yes.
or here it's an arrow side to side.
Uh-huh.
And if I come down here, it's going to be, so depending where it is. So I can just click and drag, and then I can take another window that I've got. Let's see if I got something open on here. Yeah, right here. I can take this, slide it over, and then move it. Now I've got both on the screen.
And they will function independently,
Yeah,
right?
you can go back. You can go back. You got to go back and forth between them. From your phone. But there's the video. You can also get it using, and I can stop it, and I come back over here, and I can click here and do whatever I need to do, and then come back. So that's why it's called Windows. And I can even make this smaller using the all apps list, or if you have it, stop this, and I can open up, say, Notepad. It's over here on my other screen, so I'll bring it over. Let's see, come on. I can bring it over here, make it small, and so now I got a Notepad set up. I can have different windows sized.
Sort of works like text boxes and pictures that you put in.
Yeah, so you can do whatever. And the nice thing about it is if you've got something in one that you need to drag to the other for whatever reason, you can do that.
Oh.
Now there's one other thing in Windows that you can do is, let's take this. If you grab, let's see, you grab it at the top and then real hard, move it over to the side, it automatically will make it one half of a screen. You have to play around with that to make it happen. And right now, let's see if I can grab it here. Yeah, and I can grab it off of there. I can't do it to the other side because what I have is another screen over to the right,
Yes.
another monitor, and it just goes over and it opens up on the other screen, the other half of it. But all you have to do is, or you got to just bring it all the way over. It'll make a half a screen. Then you can actually take something, and I can, let's see, I can drag this over now. Whoops. I'll drag it over to this side. And where'd that other one go here? Here. We'll take this. We'll take this. Now I'm going to take this one, do the same, and now I've got them 50-50, and I got both of them filling up the screen. But what I can also do is I can move one here and make the other one bigger if I wanted to.
But
So now I got two things. So you can move things, you could move things back and forth. So I can say, okay, I'm here. I'm going to copy that, come back over here and paste, and there it is.
Okay, now if you were on the screen that is has the browser on it, if you were to move it up and down, would the other one would not move, right? It's independent.
Yeah, right now it's locked to the side of the screen. So if I move it down, it then makes it so it can move around.
Okay.
And the other one's not moving. And this is also here too, don't forget.
Okay.
So these, I can move this one over here, or I can move this one up here. I can take this one and we'll move it here. And so we can move it all the way around. This is why it's called Windows. I got different windows open.
Seems.
And let me just show you. Now I got three things open. Let's just, I'm going to go ahead and open bunches of things here. I may have to change the screen. No, that's fine. Good. So I got something here and it's blocking the other. So if I click this, it brings it forward. Yeah, but remember there's something behind here. So again, hold the Alt key down and tab, and there's everything I've got open. So I can come back up to here, see how that's highlighted when I let go. It's got it out in front. Let's see what else did I have behind there? Is it this? Yeah, I got this. And there's a couple of these things around the other monitor. So let's see, you've got this. So I can bring whatever I want forward just by holding the Alt key down. And as I tab through, and when I find the one I want and I let go, it's forward. And
Go
then,
through that again. Huey.
okay, okay, I'm
You
holding the
fold
Alt,
it-
Go
I'm
ahead.
holding the Alt key down
Go ahead.
on your keyboard and I hit Tab. Still holding the Alt key down.
Okay, okay. That's what I missed. Okay.
That's the trick.
And then if you
And
hit
then,
tab
and
again,
then
it
while you're
moves.
holding, and then keep hitting the Tab
Okay,
key,
okay.
and it'll move it from window to window. And then when you get to the one you want, you let go, and that one will be then the active window.
That's
You let go of the
fantastic.
Alt window.
I'm sorry?
You let go of the Alt window.
Yeah, I let go of the Alt key, yes.
Yeah, the Alt key.
Yeah, and that goes away, and then that's the primary or the active window. And
Yeah,
to make it,
I called out the background and I had a hard time getting to it. Now I know how to get to it.
yeah, it's very easy, and it's yeah, because otherwise, I got something down here, and I'd have to click down here to bring it forward.
Okay.
And then if I come back here, it's partially there, and if I go here,
Start
I can't.
menu, you can click on it from your start menu.
I just
Or
hit.
you can type in the search box.
That wasn't me. That's not me talking. That's the video. So anyway, so I've got all of these open. And again, I want to get to this. I can click there, but if it happens to be down here, I can't get to it or see it. So I hold the Alt key and then Tab, and then I can come to it. And there it is.
That, to me, that's fantastic.
Yes, it
Good.
is.
Some items that I covered, and next week I'll do a few more that I covered for that meeting as well.
Thank you, Hewie. And Ray, you'll be up next. I just want to thank everyone. This is where we will be ending the live stream to our YouTube broadcast. Thank you for coming. Those of you who are over on our YouTube broadcast, we'll see you again next week. Ray, we're ready to go.
Well, that was quick. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen. Let me just first talk a little bit about the APCUG. This coming Saturday is having its next virtual technology conference. And this is available for all members of computer clubs who are part of APCUG. So if that's something that you want to attend, and I'll be doing actually a presentation on music in the car. I've been asked a couple of times, Ray, what do I do now that we no longer are able to get CD players in our new cars when we purchase them? So I'll be giving a presentation talking about that. Hewie has done a very nice video on what this Saturday's presentation will be like. So if this is something you're interested in and you haven't heard about this from your computer club president, go to apcug2.org, apcug2.org, and you'll find the full details there. So today I'm going to talk about a brief history of the song, the biggest party song ever, called Louie Louie. And I know everybody has heard this song at one time or another. And my big thanks to Marshall Dubois of the Sarasota Technology Users Group. He sent me an article referencing this iconic song. And I decided, I know a little bit about this song and the person who actually originally created it. And it has a very, very interesting history. So let's go back to 1957, when it was written and released by a person probably most people don't know, but I knew him personally, Richard Berry. And he was a Los Angeles resident, and he released this song called Louie Louie on this tiny label out of LA called Flip Records. And believe it or not, this was the B side, not even the A side when it came out. And he had a backup group called the Pharaohs. So I knew Richard, as I said, personally, and he told me that actually songs that came out in 1956. And if you want to look these up on YouTube, El Loco Cha-Cha by the Latin band leader Rene Tuzet, and Havana Moon by Chuck Berry, who is not related to Richard Berry. They were the major influences for him when he developed the music for the song. So Louie Louie became popular in the Washington State area in the early 60s, with a lot of local bands performing it live. And then in April 1963, within a week of each other, two bands from Portland, Oregon, recorded Louie Louie, Paul Revere and the Raiders, and the Kingsmen. Now, the Kingsmen is the version that was the most popular recording. And why? Well, it was supposed to have had dirty lyrics. Yes, dirty lyrics that caused an uptick in sales. Why were they dirty lyrics? Because nobody could understand them, and they guessed at what they said. So the FBI, believe it or not, performed an official investigation, but of course nothing was found. And the actual lyrics, and if you check out the newsletter that Ron sends out each week, I'm going to include the actual lyrics to the song, and they're quite simple. And it tells the story of a Jamaican sailor returning home to see his love interest. The sailor is chatting with a bartender whose name is Louie. Now, there's numerous musical mistakes made by Jack Eli. He was the lead singer of the Kingsmen. And I have a good friend named Randy Hill, and Randy lives up in Oregon, and he told me the following. He said, the Kingsmen recorded in Portland at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning in 1963. Their manager wanted to get a live feel, so he had the recording engineer raise the mic far off the stage floor. Now, Jack Eli stood in the middle of the musicians. You got to kind of picture this. He was feeling sick. Now, he was not drunk, as some rumors have it. He was just sick that morning, and he had braces on his teeth. Now, add to this the fact that he had to lean back and yell up at the mic, and you can see how everything came out slurred. The first take was supposed to be a sound check. Eli came in too soon after the break and started over. Anyway, the Kingsmen were aghast at that their manager wanted to release the mic check as the record. They begged him to let them do the song again, but he was adamant that this had the raw sound he had hoped to get, and the rest is history. Now, Richard Berry sold the rights to most of his music, and he was a prolific songwriter. He sold the rights to most of his music, including Louie Louie, in 1959. Get this, for $750. That he needed that money to finance an upcoming wedding. Now, despite all the success of his signature song during much of his adult life, he saw no financial benefit. But then again, with the help of an attorney, Richard was able to reclaim the rights to his song and finally received in 1992 a large sum royalty check. But sadly, less than 5 years later, January 1997, he died at the age of only 61 due to heart failure. By some counts, there are more than 1,600 released versions of Louie Louie, making it one of the most recorded rock and roll songs ever. I actually own 2 CDs that only have Louie Louie songs on them. So what I'm going to do first is play just a brief clip of Richard Berry's original, so you can get a kind of a feel for what that sounded like. And then I'll go into a YouTube video of the Kingsmen. Louie Louie.
Hewie, Hewie.
Huey, Huey, Dewey, Dewey.
Dewey, Dewey.
The whole group is here.
Thanks, Ray. That's great.
It's hard to imagine when we look at that image and realize that nearly all of the people that were shown dancing are great grandparents now.
Very good, Marshall. Thank you.
Grandparents.
Indeed, indeed.
The
And
group
again,
was wearing
for
matching
those-
outfits. The group was wearing matching outfits, and everybody dancing had sport jackets and ties on.
Times have changed.
Yep.
So again, I encourage anybody who has an artist or a song they want to learn more about, Ray at paysonscomputer.club. That's the email address, Ray at PAYSON computer.club, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Well, thank you very much, Ray. Thanks a lot, Ray. It is now well a little past top of the hour. It's time where we say goodbye to everyone. We'll be, of course, on live on Thursday. We'll be doing Tech for Senior live at 9 o'clock. If you want to come and listen to Bob, Huey, and I have coffee and just blab about nothing, unless you ask some good questions, then come along and we'll have some fun. This is where we actually get into the question and answer part now. Again, we have still a lot of people online. So if you do want to ask a question, if you go down to the bottom and click under reactions, you can raise your hand, and then you'll come up to the top and we can see you. And the first one has got Greg. Greg, are you going to give us an update on Starlink?
Yeah, it's 132 over 6.
6 is pretty slow going up.
I know, but it varies. This thing really varies. Anyway, my question is, on that stationary bike, Do you put your electric bike on that and then get your cardio there?
No, no, I don't. I actually do some exercise, but that's my next video series I'm going to do is about my e-bike. And but my wife always gives me a hard time about that because it's got a throttle on it and I never have to work up a sweat. So anyway.
The only exercise is getting on and getting off of it.
Yeah, but those actually, I like the recumbent one. The stationary bike was, I had to buy a few seats. I forgot about all the seat problems, and it wasn't that comfortable and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, I do use that, but really the recumbent bike is much easier and much more adaptable for me to just sit there and cycle with that.
So is that a 20 speed? You just sit there and go through the gears on it then?
The faster, you got to have that little device that I told you about, made by Majin, and the faster you you pedal, of course, the faster it is. And of course, the other thing about these devices is you can fly helicopters. You can pedal, and the helicopter goes up and flies along. So it's not just bicycles. You're providing the motion, but within the game, you could. There are ones where you can drive tanks, you can fly helicopters.
Oh yeah.
That's, and the faster you pedal, the faster your jet goes, or faster the tank goes, right? So there's all sorts of things that you can do. You don't have to just do your bicycling. Yes, Detlef?
Yeah, just wondering, when you're on a bike, you normally lean into the curve. How many times have you fallen off your bike?
Well, you've heard me talk about that. And I was going to put that in the video, but I just didn't have enough. When you make these videos, they got to be a certain time, and I couldn't. So the first time I got on that bike, I put my virtual reality headset on, and I started cycling. Not the recumbent bike, but the regular bike. And I chose a video along the California coast, and it was so the first time when we were going down this bike lane. The bike that I was following wove around people, right? And I was a bit weird. I was sort of getting the, because you can't move the bike, right? Until it quite quickly, we got to the first corner. Now, when you made a right turn on the corner, it went on the bike lane to the right. And if you went straight ahead, you went into this very busy street with a lot of traffic, right? So of course, I'm flying along, and of course, the virtual bike, that I'm following, makes a right turn. Well, of course, I'm terrified because I don't want to go straight and go into the traffic, because you do think you're there. It's virtual reality. It is truly, and you have never seen a guy like, I'm a big guy on this bike, and I tried to turn that bike to the right to make it go around. And not only did I almost fall off the bike, I got a terrible panic attack because I just about killed myself. And then I had to take the helmet off, and of course realized there's no turn, right? It's all the same. So if you have that problem, just close your eyes and it will, and then you'll just sort of follow along. But that quickly taught me that you have to learn how to use this equipment first of all. And that's why the software VR, the Fit that I told you about, because then you can lean. It teaches you to lean your head to the left, and if you lean your head to the left, then the bike will lean and turn, right? So you can actually then do sort of a virtual turn in the bike, which makes you feel better about it. But wow, that was a scary thing. When I came up to the bike turns right, and of course I can't turn. It was really scary.
So you can kind of fake leaning into the curve.
Yeah. So in that particular application, they teach you how to do that, and after you get good at it, it really makes the whole thing much easier, right? And the other thing is, until you learn, I got horribly motion sick initially. I thought, I wasn't going to be able to continue on with virtual reality because, you have to sort of start slow. I was gung ho. I thought, well, I'm going to make this video. I got the bike, I got everything set up, and I was going for it, you know. And I didn't realize that you really have to train your brain, because your brain thinks there's motion. It thinks that you're actually in that environment, right? But your body is sitting on a stationary bike and not moving. So there's a disconnect there. And that disconnect can be pretty significant. So anyway, but it is a lot of fun. And if you, once you understand how to do it, you can go cycling anywhere in the world. I mean, you could, any time of day, you could go to any part of the world and go cycling down streets and go with a group of people. You could have your friend, you could have 2 or 3 buddies. Hewie and Bob and I could hop on a bike and we could say, well, we're going to go to Holland and we'll cycle around Holland. And, or we come to Germany. You could tell us where we could come to your house. We could cycle by your house and we could even go for lunch with you at a pub, you know. I mean, we could do all that, right? So,
one little problem. I'm great on roller coaster. Put me on a virtual roller coaster and you don't want to be around me because you don't want to wear what's coming out. I have a terrible anytime it's a virtual thing. So I've been debating and I'm saying no for right now. No.
Yeah. But remember, it's only like I'm telling, the thing that's great about this is VR is only $299. And for $300, that is the whole set. You get, that's a computer. That's all you need is that. You don't have to buy a bunch of extra stuff. You can, you know, that's it. So what a blast for $300, you know. And if, as I said in the earlier video, if you don't like it, give it to your grandkids and you'll be remembered as the greatest grandparents in the whole world, right? So
Dorothy has her hand up.
Go ahead. Who's next?
Oh, hi. I still haven't jumped into the 2-factor authentication, but with Bob's presentation for the Facebook, for example, if I did use the SMS, if I was in the States and I have my Canadian cell phone just on airplane mode and Wi-Fi, would I get that text when I sign into the computers in Mesa, for example? Or should I use the Authy or Google Authenticator?
Do you want to answer that, Bob, or do you want me to answer?
Can you now get text messages?
I can send text messages to the States and receive when I'm in Canada.
Yeah, then you should have no problem getting the text message here.
Okay, because I wouldn't have it on my data plan. I would just have it on Wi-Fi and airplane mode.
But Dorothy, most of what I would recommend is to set it up. When you set this up, most of the time you can set it up so that you don't have to get a text message. You can just use the Authy app, you know, one of the applications.
Okay.
And you just take the code off your phone. And
okay. So that works on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, you don't even know it's an application that's just on your phone.
Okay.
And I always do that double dot authentication by sending it to one of my email addresses. Then I get it on my phone. For example, if I have a Yahoo Mail account, it'll come up on my it'll come up on my phone right away because I do have the Yahoo application. Or for some of them, I have used my Gmail account and it comes up on my phone without going to the SMS card at all. But I have to be connected to Wi-Fi for that to work. But then I wouldn't be trying to log into something if I weren't on Wi-Fi anyway.
Chris Gould, you have a question?
No, I was just going to say that I use the VR headset when I fly the flight simulator.
Yes.
And there are articles about that and issues with a little bit of vertigo and motion sickness, and I don't have that tendency, so I fly kind of hard sometimes just for fun.
And I don't get it with flight sim. I don't have a problem because you know, I do the same thing, Jim. I do the flight simulator with virtual reality. I didn't, but it was really weird on the bike when you're biking. You know, it's. Have you tried a bike with it? It's all.
No, we're gonna do it after what she saw.
Talked us into it.
You talked her into it. She wants one.
I want one.
We have a place where I could go, so
Do
Yeah.
any of them have arms that work your upper body?
We used to have an exercise bike, or she did, and we did, and it had upper body handles that you could actually move. It was a big Schwinn stationary exercise bike, but it had, pedals, and it had these arm things, and you could really get a good workout with that thing because
Right.
it was.
And they're called step. What are they called? They're called not step.
I don't know, but I set it up with a laptop and some electronics that I got somewhere, and I had pretty much the same kind of deal where you could actually be following a route and you would be doing this exercise down there.
And this
and
was
it
in the
had,
90s.
Yeah, back in the 90s, it had buttons on the handlebars and had magnets on the thing to do the speed. It was crazy.
All you'd have to do is take the little Magene, that little clip that I showed you.
Well, that's, yeah.
Instead of putting it on the pedals, you'd put it on the arms of the, the machine that would go back and forth. So you could do your movement that way, right?
No, you just strap it onto your wrist or strap it onto your
well, you can do that
ankle.
Too. Yep, you can do that too.
And it's a tracker for you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. And it's only $300. Like what type of
US.
But what type of fun are you going to have for $300? I mean, it's the most fun you will ever have for $300. I mean,
I don't know. There was this. Never mind.
Not in this life. I'm afraid I am not going to do it.
So thanks,
come on, Hewie. You can do it.
Thanks, Chris, for coming on May the 17th. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And are you going to watch on Wednesday?
Yeah. We'll watch Steve Dotto on Wednesday and see what. Are you on for the whole show?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, we're putting together a video. You know how he usually does his shows,
right,
where he introduces them and they go into a video and then they do Q&A and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it'll all be her stuff, because even though he says that
he'll produce it,
that I'm part of the author, she wrote the book. You know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Great show.
Yeah, great show today.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It'll be a great show on the 17th as well.
I've heard that. You guys be well. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Murray, did you have a question as well?
Yeah, well, it was on virtual reality. For the regular consumer, I still think the best virtual reality is at Disney World or Disneyland, because there, for example, when the monster flies over you with its poison, spits at you, and you get all the drops of rain falling on you. And then when you, you fall through on the haunted hotel or whatever, of course, you're in a car that actually drops 30 feet or so. And, you're in a theater and the seats move and everything. So now if you're going to lean over, well, your seat will lean over. And so that's really the greatest virtuality. But I got to admit, what you've been showing us looks pretty interesting. Anyway.
Murray, that's where I got sick as a dog.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The other thing that everyone should understand is when I showed you last week, when I showed you the equipment, those two controllers that you hold, because obviously if you go into reality, you have to push buttons, you have to fire things, you have to drive cars, and you use those controllers to actually do those things. However, with the latest update this last year in virtual reality on the Oculus Quest, it now recognizes your hands. So in a lot of the applications, you actually don't have to actually use those controllers. In other words, you see your hands. So when you are actually in virtual reality, your hands are actually moving and you can see your hands. So for example, in Flight Simulator, when you want to click a switch on a panel, you can you don't actually have to click it with those controllers. You can actually use your hand virtually, go up and flick that switch. Now there's a thing called haptics. Haptics is the art and science of actually feeling something when you touch it virtually. And they're now working, and it's pretty close, where you're actually going to be able to feel when you go up and touch that button. You're going to feel a button. There will be a little, you'll be able to feel it, and when you click it, it'll feel it click.
Yeah, they actually make gloves that do that. You can put on the gloves and it does that. Yeah. And they use that in manufacturing some places.
Yes, exactly. But this is all coming, and this is going to be, that'll even be even cooler, So it's a blast, Trust me, you guys, it is a blast. You'll have lots of fun with it.
So that means smell-o-vision is just around the corner, right?
Well, you can watch TV. You can watch YouTube. I'd say you can watch Tech for Senior in virtual reality.
Yeah, but smell-o-vision is what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, Ron, we're running out of time, but Dorothy did have her hand up too.
Okay, right. Okay, Dorothy.
What time Wednesday?
Pardon me?
What time Wednesday?
Oh, what time is Steve Dotto on Wednesday? He's on at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Pacific time.
Pacific, okay.
Yep, Steve Dotto. And Steve Dotto, just I'm not sure. Just go to his
Dotto
Tech channel, and he'll be there. And he's on Wednesday. And then don't forget, we're on Thursday. So there you go.
We are.
Thanks for a great show.
All right, you guys. We'll see you in a week. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.